The Yellow Jacket fires underground, there are still remains of miners that were never brought out. The only way that they could stop the fires burning in the shafts was to seal them off. There was at least 35 miners that died in this. I think that they are still here.
This is unlike any cemetery I think I've ever seen. There are over 35 bodies, 800 feet in the ground, right here.
The first night here, I wasn't protected from getting attacked. I just wanted to. As I got to where there's no more light, my headlights started to flicker. I had to fight to control my vehicle. Something was trying to pull my car off the road. I experienced possession. I mean, this place is really evil.
If you're a demon, if you're demonic, if you're evil, speak with us. Legion of demons.
Oh my f***ing God.
That 100% came from behind us over there.
Oh, look at this.
Dude.
You have to make a loud bang.
I feel like there's somebody to my right. What's that?
All haunted places have a story to tell. It can be tragic, it can be scary, and it can be very dangerous. This is Colin Browen, and these are the Paranormal Files.
What do you see behind me? What is this? Is this dust, gravel, an average hill? Once we dig into the history of the land that we're sitting on right now, you'll come to find that there are over 35 bodies, 800 feet in the ground, right here. And this was once the entrance to the mine shaft where those bodies are located. Tonight on the Paranormal Files, we have a very personal, a very interesting, and a very dark story that is unfolding as we speak. I want to, once again, 100% remind you guys online that what you're watching is real and that there is a potential for this energy that we're connecting with, this demonic energy at times, if you choose to believe in that, to come through your screen into your home, whether you're watching on your phone, your TV, your laptop. There is a potential, we've seen it hurt people in the past, for the videos to affect the viewer. So viewer discretion is advised, and welcome to the Paranormal Files. Alright, so here are some wild horses just coming up to our location. Not often you see that on a paranormal investigation. Those are legit wild horses, people. Look at that. It's got a baby too. Do you hear that steam train in the back? This is like the most Wild West video we've ever done, like in the desert area, in Nevada, old gold mine, wild horses, and a steam train. Like, what are we gonna have, like a guy in a gunslinging outfit come through soon? Fucking trains, people, fucking trains. We haven't even started, we just got here. Dude, what the hell, man? Now, I know that I always make this joke, and I'm always telling you guys it's always a train, but like, I feel like this is even an upgrade of the joke because we have a steam train with the whistle. Oh, here it comes.
Can you
Do you hear that?
was I mean, up in the mountains, you'd think that there'd be a train up here. You know, like, would never think that, right? You told them about the wild horses that all came into town.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
This is
Look at, there's the train right there.
There it is.
You can actually see the train. Never before have we actually seen the train on the show. Oh shit, guys, this is Paranormal Files first. There it is.
Wow, look at that.
There's the train.
Can you imagine that being up on the side of a mountain like that?
That is crazy, man. Looks like a toy train.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, that
and
is
the
a
horses
stallion.
are,
got a special show.
they're
Oh,
humping.
no.
They got horses humping
Well-
and a train. Holy shit.
Oh my god. I don't
Wow.
I'm sure.
I'm definitely gonna have to
I'm sure
censor that on
YouTube is going
YouTube.
to, ban.
But look, there's the
Yes.
train, everybody.
We got a train.
Oh, actually, I saw a guy up there. There's a guy up on the train standing there.
Well, of course there'd be somebody there. Yeah, right, exactly.
Damn, even the horses
thought it
are
was a
staring at the train.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that was a
Another one
crazy, that
back
was a
there.
crazy moment right there.
The back.
Okay, so we're gonna start the interview now.
Hi, I'm Cassie Oswald, and I am the property manager for the Haunted Crown Point Mill here in Virginia City, Nevada. Our building was built in 1935 by the Sutro Tunnel Coalition. It ran for 7 years, beginning in January of 1936. The Crown Point Mill processed some 300,000 tons of ore until the government forced it to shut down under the War Production Board Limitation Order, otherwise known as the L-208 in 1942. The building framework is steel, including the roof trusses. The walls are 1x12 wood sheaths covered by galvanized iron. The mill also contains a series of steel agitation tanks. All the tanks are supported by footings and timbers of various sizes. My research in this building indicates that the paranormal activity doesn't actually result from the structure itself, but of a disaster that occurred in 1869, which was the Yellow Jacket fires. Now we're gonna head straight up to the top because we're losing daylight, and I'd like to show you all the structure that we have at the top.
Okay,
Is that okay?
let's grab our stuff and go.
Up we go. Yeah, we do have rodents.
This looks like a haunted house.
Yeah. Well, it kind of is.
Is the floor all intact?
Yes. Anything that's unsafe, we have cordoned off.
Yeah. Look at these vats.
Go down
Wow.
the bridge.
You know, I'm gonna leave my backpack right here. Grab later. Wow.
No doubt.
Wow.
So, the owner, when he got this place, he actually emptied out a couple of these. And I want to say he ended up with, I think it was around $200,000 worth of gold and silver.
What?
I think.
Wow.
I remember him when this place was shut down. It was shut down. It never ran again, so it was left with unprocessed stuff.
Wow. Now that is just crazy. Like, this thing is massive, you know?
Watch your step out here. We've got this structure here. That would have been like the manager's foreman's building up at the very top. And then the rest of this, the shaft goes into the ground and they would bring up ore and all the processing stuff, and they'd bring it up through this and into the mill and run it through the mill to process the gold and silver. So this was actually how they brought the ore up from the ground in 1942. So the Yellow Jacket fires that occurred, the Crown Point shaft was located, so here, this is the building.
It's not bad.
So this is the building. We're about here. The original Crown Point shaft would have been located here.
And where we're at?
We would be here.
Oh, right there, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be where the opening of the Crown Point shaft was, where the Bickle brothers, well, one of them died and then the other one shortly after. So it was at this point here where underground, about 800 to 1,000 feet, there are still remains of miners that were never brought out. The only way that they could stop the fires burning in the shafts was to seal them off. It took over 3 months for them to recover anything, and ultimately they had to give up and leave bodies down there because cutting off any oxygen to the tunnels was the only way to stop the fires.
So can you just briefly explain that incident?
One of the things that the miners were more afraid of than anything working down there in that time period was fire, because it could produce agonizing suffocation rather than an instant death of an explosion or falling. You know, instant death is better than suffocating death, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the 7th of April, at the 800-foot level of the Yellow Jacket mine in Gold Hill, they don't know how the fire started. They don't. So in those days they had candles down there. So what probably happened is that a candle got tipped over, caught fire. Subsequent speculation theorized that an abandoned burning candle set the disaster in motion. The specifics about the consequences of the fire are better understood. Whatever the cause, the fire worked its way unnoticed for quite a while, and it occurred during the early morning hours when the graveyard shift was finishing its work. Since there were fewer miners during the late night shift, not as many lives were at risk as would have been the case during the middle of the day, but there was no one around to notice or extinguish the fire as it progressed. So the flames devoured wood and oxygen, creating a large pocket of smoke-filled air. The timbers held on until the shift change, when at approximately 7 a.m., the weakened supports together with masses of rocks collapsed into the drifts of the 800-foot level, flushing the poisonous fumes into the adjacent works. The survivors said they heard what sounded like a gust of wind that instantly extinguished the candles. There were a lucky few with first-hand accounts of the incident, having escaped the shafts or finding themselves far enough away to survive. Elliot Lord, author of an 1883 history of the Comstock mines, recounted that John Murphy, a station man at the 800-foot level of the Yellow Jacket shaft, saw 15 lights of the station at once extinguished. The foul blast stifled him, and he crouched on the floor, wrapping his rubber coat about his face. In a moment, he lost consciousness, but could remember when rescued that he heard a pitiful cry come up from the shaft from a lower level. "Murphy, send me a cage. I'm suffocating to death." So, although the disaster was always linked to the Yellow Jacket, the greatest devastation occurred at the Crown Point mine shaft and the Kentuck mine shaft. A survivor said that he and another miner were working on the 800-foot level when they heard a gale roaring through the drift and were instantly overwhelmed by smoke and gas. One struggled through the stifling atmosphere to the Crown Point shaft and was saved. The other fell, dying in a drift beyond hope of rescue. In the Crown Point mine, the morning shift was preparing to begin work. A cage containing 45 men descended, with groups to be let off at the various levels. The cage dropped into a poisonous cloud and stopped at the 800-foot level, where miners found victims calling for help. Survivors rushed the cage, where they crowded in as many as they could fit onto the platform, and at once the miners signaled to go back up. At the surface, they rushed off the cage so it could be sent back to the 800-foot level. When the cage returned to the surface, it only bore 2 brothers, immigrants from Cornwall, and those were the Bickle brothers. George was holding on to his brother as he and his brother had come up from the shaft. George's brother Richard had his head torn almost completely off, and his left arm was hanging by a little strip of skin at his shoulder. He was dragged against the shaft timbers as the cage was coming up. George died the next day from smoke inhalation. And their third brother, there was a third brother, he died as a result of this disaster as well. In my first investigation here, we communicated with the spirit that identified himself as George. And in past investigations, devices have captured or spoken the last name Bickle. We have captured that. So I think that they are still here.
So just to give some context, that massive mine disaster, known as the Yellow Jacket, but it really decimated the Crown Point mine, was up there.
Yes.
That's where the mine shaft was.
Yeah.
And that's where there are still miners' bodies underground to this day that they've never recovered.
The opening's since been sealed, covered, and
Underneath you.
not this structure, just beyond this structure on the other side of the building.
Okay.
But I mean, in effect, if you x-rayed, it would be through here, and there would be the bodies somewhere below this.
At 800 feet.
Close,
Yeah,
close to
800
at
feet.
800 feet under the ground.
Yeah. But I'm
Looking
not
at-
saying like right here.
right.
There was at least 35 miners that died in this. At least
In this
35
shaft specifically.
specifically.
And what does that look like nowadays?
It's just, it looks like all this.
There's no marking or anything. It's just dirt.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's no,
Memorial or anything like that.
nothing.
There's no way to get up there.
There is driving. We have to drive around and access it through the driveway of the Crown Point Hotel and Restaurant.
Do you think we'd be able to go up there tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
We should 100% go up there.
Isn't actually still an opening remnant left there, or is it just a spot?
Buried under all that dirt.
Underneath the dirt. Okay. Yeah.
But that'd be very interesting to show how
And then,
that.
you know, and you got to
is
remember
nothing
these
now.
bodies. I mean, it was hot. It was, I mean, noxious gas, heat. You know, when they brought miners, the bodies they could recover, I mean, their bodies were destroyed. They had to cover their faces to prevent their wives and children from seeing how obliterated their bodies were. And a lot of them never came. Sorry. It still makes me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's totally
I get, when I'm here, I get emotional. It's like they were, sorry. You know, it happens to me every time. You'd think I'd be used to it. But I think that I think that's why a lot of them are still here, because they're still underground. You know, they never got found. Their families never got peace. Damn it. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's understandable.
Yes.
I remember coming up here one night and I was talking about the Bickle brothers. That's part of the reason I think they're still here, especially them. But I remember talking about them up here, and an investigator had a spirit box going, and, you know, hearing a voice that had said, it sounded like it said thank you. I have a memorial for the brothers in my house. Because I feel like I've connected with them specifically, and I wanted them to have somebody that would honor their memory, that maybe it would help them find some peace, that somebody that's alive today still remembers them, still cares about what happened to them.
Boy, and that's so similar to what Colin does on so many of our investigations, to
I always
remember the
put down
forgotten
flowers.
people. We'll put flowers down.
I did, I actually found their gravestones.
Really?
And
Really?
I cry every time.
Oh, that's
Can you take us to a couple of the hot spots, kind of explain where people have experienced things, and then B, kind of just tell some of the stories?
My first night ever in this building, we were sitting here, and I was sitting right here we were using dowsing rods and a ghost meter. As we're communicating with the spirit's using both of these devices. The dowsing rods are corresponding with the responses from the ghost meter. One's for yes, two for no. cross for yes. That was the first time I actually believed in dowsing rods. I doubted them before. But to see these dowsing rods correspond with the equipment, with the answers we were being given, was interesting. And he communicated for a really long time. Being a sensitive, sometimes spirits can make me feel what they physically felt. And as we were communicating with this spirit who identified himself as George, we got that name before I ever got the information in here about him and his brothers. So it was really cool to find an actual article that confirmed the name George and validated that. And we were asking him questions, and he was indicating that he didn't feel well, like he was sick. And as we were communicating with him, I started to feel worse and worse. Nauseous, dizzy, hot, cold sweats, really ill. One of my partners asked, are you doing this to her? And he gave us a yes response. And she asked him, is she the only person here right now that you can do this to? And he again gave a yes response. I ended up having to step outside. And what was interesting is when we walked out of the building, this spirit came with us and continued to communicate with us outside of the building through the ghost meter. He was remorseful that he had made me feel bad and apparently wanted to make sure that I was okay. I'm not sure that he realizes that he's passed, because when he was talking about sharing with us about his illness and from what I was feeling, I asked if that was how he passed. And the minute I asked that question, it was like an emotional gut punch. I could feel his reaction to that question. It hurt him somehow. It caused an emotional reaction to that spirit. Not only did I feel it, the communication abruptly stopped. So I learned to be more careful about the questions that I ask.
What was that? That was like loud.
You'll get
Wait, can I ask? You want to ask if you make another noise? I love this when it happens.
if you're here right now, can you make another big noise for me?
I feel like it got like deathly still when you asked that.
So
when
quiet.
It got so like the air.
It's okay. Good people. Come in and talk and interact. I know you can make noises. You've done it before.
Again, once again, very, very quiet.
So let me ask you, you feeling something?
You know, I one investigation, a team came up here and I could feel like an ice cold, I mean, it was colder than cold right next to me, and I could feel like its shape right next to me, totally freezing. I could feel it right behind me. You know, and sometimes during investigations, they get right next. I can feel them right there. And I know they'll make noises. Like I've been in this building for so long that, you know, I've learned to be able to tell the difference between the creaking sounds and the footsteps on the wood.
Who would be haunting this building? Were there accidents in here historically?
Not that we know of. I mean, I'm sure there had to be accidents here. Accidents happen. You know, in 1935, things were a lot safer. And I have looked and tried to find any information on the 7 years that this building ran to see if there were any deaths in the building as a result of this building functioning. And I have not been able to find anything that indicates that there were any deaths in this building as a result of this factory.
So it's more that it's the incident at the Crown Point shaft itself, and that energy is kind of stained here.
Because ever since I came to this building for the first time as a member of a team, I just developed an attachment to it. Mm-hmm. And I had to come back. And in doing that and doing this and having teams come in, I wanted to learn everything I could about the building's history and the property's history. You know, calling like City Hall and looking for public records and all of that, there's been no indication that there was deaths as a result of the factories.
But this building is very haunted.
Yes.
Active.
My husband and we have captured countless EVPs in here, mostly human-sounding voices and some not so human or friendly sounding voices.
So, real quick interruption in the video. We had to cut the interview for just a little bit in the middle of the interview because right now we are going to go visit the gravesite that we just discussed in the video, and then we're going to go see where the actual old entrance to the Crown Point mine shaft is nowadays. But since the sun is already setting, it's only 4:30 right now, but you can see out there the sun has already set. So we're going to go do that real quickly and then return to the interview.
So we're going to go where first?
You are going to come down this driveway and you're going to turn right.
So the cemetery?
Yes.
Or where the graves, okay.
Yeah, this is unlike any cemetery I think I've ever seen. This is very, very abandoned. Wow.
I mean, like, look at, dude. These headstones are like...
Total side note, this sunset up here, beautiful, guys. Natural lighting, baby.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
This is pretty crazy, y'all. So this cemetery, this is the Gold Hill Cemetery, where obviously a number of the miners who died in those incidents are buried. There are a lot of historic burials, and this is like an extremely decrepit burial ground. If you see behind me, these are all graves dotting the landscape. And like just looking out over here, I don't see a single grave really. I mean, there are a couple in here in the more Kempt area, but they're all toppled over the gates. The fences are smashed. It's kind of hard to believe.
Oh, here they are.
Those were the flowers that I left. That would be them.
Wow. So these are the graves of the brothers who died in the mining incident.
It's too bad we don't have a spirit box. Kind of wish I would have brought mine now just to...
So it's James and George and Richard. 3.
Wow. Who, the brother who was taken out immediately? Who had died?
Richard.
So Richard was the one.
Yeah, because Richard was April 7th. Yeah. April 7th.
Did you leave this?
No, I'm
What is
not
this?
sure what that is.
Look at this.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's like wax.
Yeah, well, it looks like a beeswax of some sort.
Dude.
But it's like a gunny sack.
Like,
Wow. That's
do you know what this would be?
No, 'cause I don't know what it is, and
Yeah.
wax and stuff like that is...
I've seen a lot of weird stuff on cemetery
Like
or
when I
on
left
graves.
flowers here, that wasn't there. These weren't here.
There are candles.
Like these cups weren't here.
Mhm.
I remember. Yeah. James was the 7th. He was the 7th. So, yeah, this brother died in that accident as well. They came here from England specifically to work in the mines.
And then they all tragically died in the mines. In
So Richard
accidents.
and James died the day of. George died the 8th, the day after, from smoke inhalation.
So, to the Bickle brothers, Richard, James, and George, we're going to be over tonight at the mill, just over there. It's my dad and I. If you could come through and speak with us tonight, I don't know if you're here attached to your bodies, if you're over there in the mill, if your energy is stained over in that direction, but we would love for you to come out and speak with us, and you can follow our energy as we go back over there. But yeah, we would love to just have an open conversation. We come from a place of love and respect, so come through if you can hear my voice. And with that, we got one more place to go look at before we begin the investigation, which is the actual location where the mine once, I don't want to say sat, but where it was, where the
opening of the Crown Point shaft.
the opening of the shaft, where to this day over 35 bodies are still underground, which is crazy to me. And probably not bodies, obviously, but just remains.
Yeah.
Turned.
I'll say this cemetery, you can feel just energy.
The gathering.
Yeah.
The gathering around.
And it looks almost mystical. You know, normal cemeteries like in Texas are just so like normal looking.
It's a lot. I can feel it, like emotionally feel it.
Yeah, it's almost
It's
like
like
they're
that.
here,
I'm,
you know.
I'm trying not to cry again because I can feel it.
All the people.
I just feel just like I'm gonna cry. You know, it's
okay.
damn it. Sorry. I don't really like crying in front of people. I mean, you look at it and it's destroyed.
It's sad.
It's destroyed and forgotten and, you know, just forgotten people.
Well, we're here to make sure that they're not forgotten.
Yeah.
Sorry, damn it.
That's the point of what we do. Okay.
Right,
Well,
I'm all
Let's go. Let's see the
just-
last place.
oops,
Oh, sorry. That's my fault.
cabin right there. I think that's the miners' cabin.
Oh,
People
yeah.
have experiences.
Oh,
there.
here.
I was reading
Weird.
about that.
So where do
yeah.
I go? Turn the light off.
The opening to the Crown Point shaft originally would have been right up there.
Right up here?
Yeah.
So, right here, actually, right now, if you can't really see right now because it's dark, but the Crown Point Mill is right over there. That's where we just were.
Right there.
If you can see against the sunset right there, those are the taller buildings that we were just looking at from below. And right here would be the old opening to the Crown Point mine. This is the location where part of the accident, the Yellow Jacket fire, happened, and it would be actually, like we're talking here in this area going downward, where, like we were saying, the bodies of those miners are trapped forever, and it's in the earth right
And
here.
it would be exactly where Richard Bickle died.
This right here, yeah, and Richard Bickle, the Bickle brothers, this would have been where they emerged from the mine shaft, came out, and then obviously all three of them were dead within the 1-2 day span of the event.
And I actually, after my first experience here, I came back specifically looking for George. And it was before I actually worked doing this. I had to come back and interact with that spirit again. So I went to the doors, and I remember specifically looking for George and saying, I can't stay here, but meet me up on the hill. And I came up here with my cell phone, and I asked if anybody was here, and I got a response. You could just barely hear it. But when I asked if somebody was here, you could hear a voice go, yes.
Here in this area.
After I
George.
went to the door looking for George, asking him to meet me on the hill.
So I want to make a point to the camera. We've been talking a lot about the Bickle brothers,
Yeah.
and how that is a very positive haunting. Not a good haunting, but there's no ill nature there.
No.
But I'm gonna grab the other camera.
Not towards me.
Yeah, and I want to talk about up. Let's just do it up here. The other stuff. Hold up. Cut that 1 second. Let me grab the camera. But
My first night here, after dealing with George, who through our devices expressed remorse and a genuine concern for my well-being, we encountered something that was the polar opposite. We were standing in the mill on an upper floor, and it was the leader of our team and another investigator, and we were communicating with something. And as we're communicating with something, I start to feel more and more pain in my abdominal area. That pain got to the point where I was buckled over in pain. It felt like somebody was stabbing me in my abdomen. It hurt so bad. And the investigators I was with, they asked, are you doing this to her? And this entity gave us a yes response. I am causing the pain that she's in. And when it was asked to stop, it made it clear that it wasn't going to stop, and it actually intensified. I couldn't walk out of the building on my own. I mean, this thing was hurting me. It made it clear that it was hurting me, and it made it clear that it was intentional. Later on that night, we had stayed in a location that's actually just down from the mill. It's called the Brewery, Big Blue House. Something actually followed us from the mill back to where we were staying, and we had to go back to the mill. And if you're familiar with the ghost meter, it has that gauge on it. Our team leader said, we got to go back. We have to go back to the mill right now because we brought something back with us and it's a problem, and we need to go back and deal with it. And our leader of this group was like a deacon for a church, so we went back to the Crown Point Mill, and he started doing prayers. And our equipment, as he was doing prayers to demand that this entity leave us be, our equipment was going totally haywire. Like the ghost meter, it went all the way up as high as it could, and it held for about 20 seconds.
Wow.
The alarm, it was all the way up, and it held while, the leader of our team was doing these prayers to get this entity to not follow us back to where we were staying. It was really intense. It was spiritual warfare.
And
definitely.
can we talk about the EVPs as well?
So, with the Bickle brothers, I feel like they protect me to an extent. I think when I came back to talk to George, because obviously the first night here, I wasn't protected from getting attacked. I mean, it was pain like it hurt. Obviously I wasn't protected then, but it hasn't happened again. One night my husband and I were filming and we captured an EVP where you hear a male voice say, "You have to go now." And then you hear something else respond and it goes, "No." It was just a growly no. So this was two different things. You could hear a male voice saying, "You have to leave now," and something inhuman growl, "No." And I've started, coming here more and more. It feels like there's a human male spirit that protects me while I'm here. I've captured so many EVPs of this male voice. I've never had anything bad happen to me since I've come back. And I think that maybe I'm protected from harm because, we've developed a friendship.
Though there is something dark based on being attacked, inhuman voice.
Yeah.
So what would your theory be that you were talking about?
Well, because other teams have come in and they haven't, except for that one time when I was with that team, I haven't had other people experience anything negative. But when I'm here by myself or with my husband, we've heard it, we've experienced it. The things that it says through an Ovilus is very negative, Fear me, who are you, the devil, just very stereotypical demonic responses. So it makes me wonder if this is something that is attached specifically to me and is only here when I'm here. When I'm here, my husband's here, we go home and listen to our EVPs, there's this inhuman voice, and there's other voices that sound like they're talking to this entity, telling it to stay away, to go away.
So I guess my final question, what would be the most common things that people experience in the mill?
Well, since really only paranormal investigators come here, they do hear the footsteps and knocking, and the building creaks and it makes noise. But a lot of times if you ask the spirits to indicate that they're there, you do it a couple times to confirm, they make noises. You can hear footsteps on the floorboards above you. That's a lot of times during investigations, I hear that a lot, is investigators are say, we kept hearing footsteps walking on the catwalk above us, but we didn't see anything.
So very physical.
You can hear a lot of physical sounds. You can hear footsteps above you. Since it's just the two of you, when you're in there, if you just sit there just below, like the middle floor, you'll probably hear footsteps on wood.
Well, are you ready?
I'm ready to go. It's getting cold.
I know your nose is redder than Rudolph,
I'm like,
dude.
I think my fingers are.
Damn.
Look at this. Look at this. It's frozen.
It'd be like,
It's gotten chilly.
all right. Well, I think that's perfect. Anything else?
I will say, and it'll be the last experience. And I felt bad because I misread some things. There was a team here, and unfortunately that team did not have the best intentions. I didn't know that, obviously. That night they did their investigation, and we were sitting on the bottom floor, closing up the investigation, talking about it, all that good stuff. And I could feel rage. Like there was a moment where I lost control of myself for just a little moment. And the other investigators, they said, that they could see the change in my face. Like for a moment, I wasn't me. And I remember feeling rage. And the person in charge of this team, there was this feeling in me that I just wanted to, Don't know why, but that's what I felt inside trying to get out, was just the desire to just,
Anger.
Like really pissed off. Now, I could already feel that something was wrong. I have a connection to this building and the spirits here. I could feel something was wrong as we were closing this investigation. Somebody was upset, very upset. I didn't hurt him, obviously, but I could feel that desire to claw and rip and, hurt this person. I wasn't going to stay. I was going to leave with everybody else. I had my bags packed and my equipment packed, my personal stuff. And out of my mouth came the words, I'm going to stay. The thing is, I didn't mean to say that. I didn't. Like my mouth said it, but I didn't. I did leave. I lock up the building. I get in my car and I see a shadow, a large shadow, pass in front of my headlights. And I park in the same spot all the time where I'm parked right now. I saw the shadow. I could feel the presence, but I just was like, I gotta go home. I reversed out and I left, and that road.
Right.
At night, the only lights you have are your headlights. Now, my husband's a mechanic, so I knew my car was fine. As I got to where there's no more light, my headlights started to flicker erratically. I had to fight to control my vehicle. I've made this drive so many times, even at night, the twists, the turns, like I'm used to it. It shouldn't have been that hard, but it was like something was trying to pull my car off the road.
And that's a twisty mountain road.
Well, it's a drop off.
Literally.
I came very close to crashing my van into the side of a cliff.
So arguably it tried to kill you.
That's what I thought. And I was confused. I thought maybe one of the spirits is angry that I brought these people into the building. Maybe these people did something to disrespect them, and because I brought them into the building, they feel that it's my fault. And maybe they're punishing me for the behavior of these investigators. Maybe they were disrespectful. Maybe they did something wrong.
So at this point, real quickly, I'm going to stop the video and kind of explain to you guys our thoughts about Cassie and what is happening there at the Crown Point Mill. So as you've probably noticed throughout this interview and this beginning of this video, Cassie is constantly referring to George Bickle.
George died the next day from smoke inhalation.
Who was one of the men who died in the mining incident back in the day. She believes that George has followed her, that he follows her throughout the mill, and that he actually comes home with her and protects her.
Maybe I'm protected from harm because, we've developed a friendship.
Now, a lot of different people that believe in the paranormal, even religious individuals, think that spirits can take on other forms to make themselves more innocent seeming or more likely, I don't know how you'd even say that, to make people trust them, like to get Cassie's trust. Something might be taking the form of George to her or presenting itself as George, but it might not be George.
In my first investigation here, we communicated with a spirit that identified himself as George.
Now, this gets a little bit stranger when you realize that Cassie actually has a shrine built to George in her own home.
I have a memorial for the brothers in my house. Because I feel like I've connected with them specifically.
Which may further actually invite this spirit, if it's pretending to be George, into her house. I don't know. There's just a lot of strange things. Cassie got really emotional talking about all these different subjects that we covered. It's okay.
Damn it. Sorry. And a lot of them never came up. Sorry. Still makes me, I'm sorry.
And it made me kind of concerned for her well-being being in that area, because to me, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like George is actually the spirit that is contacting Cassie and following her around. It seems like it's something darker. And now, like I've said in the past, I'm not a big demon guy. I don't believe in demons, but whatever this thing is seems to be a bit darker than your average spirit, and it seems to have taken on a different form to gain Cassie's trust. It's followed her home. It's been invited into her home through this altar that she set up for George. And in addition, just listen to what Cassie had to say at the very end of our night, which really sealed the deal and made us a little bit afraid for her well-being.
Okay, I'm just going to ask really quick and interject. And you said that some of this activity has just real quickly followed you home, almost like in a demonic sense?
Every night when I tell my son, my 4-year-old son, that it's time to go to bed, he is terrified to go to his room, and he just keeps saying that he's afraid of him. The male spirit that's associated with this, I mean, I'm not 100%. Like, I believe that one or more of the Bickle brothers is with me at home. He's with me here, I feel. Even though I've had some threatening things happen here, I feel protected. There may be something negative here, but I think the human spirits here protect me from harm. And I know at home, they wouldn't do something like this. They wouldn't terrify my son to tears, where he is physically, like, I have to drag him to his room. Like, it's heartbreaking.
But yeah, just to clarify, that is happening to you at home.
It started 2 or 3 weeks ago that my son started being terrified to go to his room at night. He demands that his bedroom light is left on. When he goes to bed, he won't sleep with his light off. And he just says he's afraid of him, but he's 4. He can't describe what he's seeing to me. But obviously to him, it looks like a man of some kind. My 11-year-old, she's in trouble a lot. She's grounded all the time. She lies, she sneaks, her behavior's just, it's bad. I hear her in her room talking, and I found this page that she wrote. I found it in a notebook of hers. I went through her stuff, and she was writing about a man, and she said that and this was her sentence: I feel like the man is mad, not at me, but at my family.
All right, everybody, so Jeff and I are here at the Crown Point Mill. It is now way later at night. As you can see, it's completely pitch black out. We're the only ones here, and Jeff has the key to get us into the mill. We're gonna get inside and talk about some theories that we have before our investigation, but
Ready?
here we are. It's the only way in and out.
This might be just leave it like that.
Okay, everybody, so it's now, like I just said, late, and we're here at the Crown Point Mill. Jeff and I have all of our equipment down here. Well, it seems like, from Cassie's perspective, she's telling us that this place seems to be haunted by one of the brothers who died in the horrific Yellow Jacket mine incident. But in my opinion, based on what she's been telling us, it really seems like those spirits might be here, but there is something much darker that is not only affecting her, it's affecting her family, it's affecting people that visit this place, and it's kind of eerie in here.
Yeah.
You know, I can actually feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's something that's here. A theory that was running through my head, as wild as this might seem, is Nevada, Arizona, California, all those states have real deep indigenous ties, obviously. I mean, everywhere in America does, but especially in these regions. And there's so much superstition tied to those tribes about ancient, powerful forces and spirits. And what's really interesting to me is that the fire that was ignited in the mine during the Yellow Jacket mining accident, which ultimately killed so many people, no one knows how it started or why it started. And it makes me wonder if it's possible that some sort of ancient energy was pissed off that people were mining the land and doing all of this and, I don't know, knocked a candle over. If we're gonna go with theories that, like you guys saw in our recent episode in Houston, that spirits can move earrings up to attics, who's to say that something that's attached to this land was very angry about what people were doing to the land and decided to just do something about it, you know? There's still no official explanation, but based on all of these accounts and reports from this place, from Cassie and others, it really does seem to be that there's something evil in here, in this building. This is a huge building, and we're the only ones in here. We're locked in. I don't know. I want to get to the bottom of why this thing is targeting Cassie, why this thing likes to present itself as like evil. It's been possessing almost people. Like she was talking about, you know, symptoms of possession and whatnot. So tonight we're gonna try contact whoever really can come through, but I feel personally like there's something evil here, and I don't really say that often. I mean, I do when we go to a place where it's evil, but like this place is mysterious. There's mystery behind the accident that caused it to be almost haunted in the first place. There's mystery as to why the place is haunted. There's mystery as to why there's so much anger. There's literally human bodies. Oh, it's creepy when you look back there. There's buried human remains in the mine shaft, just in the distance. They're back this way. So I don't know, but we're gonna get to the bottom of it tonight. It's just Jeff and I here. How are you feeling, Papa Spooks?
Cold, to be honest. I mean, one thing. Like I said, there's huge vats in here. It's gigantic, actually. It's much bigger than I thought. And I think there's some kind of a feeling for me of, like you said, evil. I don't know. I think it's like it's unknown, I guess, to me, like my feeling, right? It's like I think there's something here. There really hasn't been many people here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think very few. So I think it's unexplored for the most part, and I think that's what we're going to do tonight, try to see what's here. But I feel there's something here. I don't know what, but like I never do. But let's go.
And everybody, I know there's never really a good time to say this, but before we start investigating and all of that, if you love the Paranormal Files, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching, like the video. If you're watching this right now, especially during the live premiere, I want you guys to take 10 seconds, go down to the comment section below, and let us know where you would like to see us investigate. I want to see hundreds of comments, because we're going to be reading your guys' comments and picking one top place from this video, or the comment section of this video, to go visit in 2022. So if you have a place that you would really love to see Jeff and I, Courtney and Jeff, Mary and I go visit, let us know below. It really does... I know we can smile when we talk about this stuff, but it is very creepy in here, and like,
It's dark.
It feels. I mean, when you stand up there, we'll show you guys. It is pitch black. There are no
Virginia
windows.
City is out. I think that means let's get rolling. I think we should.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was like a knock.
It was.
Hello?
It was like a.
It was louder than that.
I don't know what the sound was.
Okay, yeah.
Let's go.
With that, let's grab our stuff.
Okay,
And let's
yep.
just bring all this up there, don't you think? All this machinery is crazy to see.
This steps. Hang on to the guardrail. We're back.
Okay, here. Let's just turn the camera off for a second and just start this without equipment.
I think. There, man.
You okay?
Damn it.
I'm sorry to
Hand's
laugh.
so
That was just
cold.
really, that was funny.
Damn it. God, that's weird how it hurts so bad. Damn it.
It's weird that you're cold and I'm about to take my jacket off.
Oh, I'm like really cold.
Here, we don't need to bring any of that out yet.
Okay. None of it?
No.
I just thought we're gonna try to do some stuff right here, talking and.
Yeah, here. Give me the flashlight. Okay. We're here in the Crown Point Mill. Jesus, this is actually scary.
It's huge.
My name's Colin.
Jeff? I'm Jeff. My name's Jeff.
You always say that.
Oh, what do I say?
My name's Colin. Jeff.
Well, I mean. Okay. What?
If anybody's in here,
I thought I saw a shadow go across this. Oh, it's you. Never mind. It was you.
if anybody's in here, if you suffered a workplace accident, if you died in the Yellow Jacket mine fire, if you're a brother of someone who died, or I'm going to go out of the way and say it, if you're a demon, if you're demonic, if you're evil, we are requesting that you come out tonight and speak with us. Yeah, this shit's like a horror movie, dude.
Yeah. Oh. This could be like, these vats are just incredible.
Looks like just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You know? Like something can pop out of the corner here.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got like total chills here.
All right. If there's anybody in this building with us, can you make a noise and let us know where you are?
Man, I'm like charged right here.
Yeah, you know, I actually feel very creepy in here. This is unlike a location that I've been in a long time. You know?
Yeah, this is a different location. For a second.
Where are you in the building?
What was that?
I don't know.
Could you knock on something like this? To let us know where you are?
God, it's just pitch black in front of my face. Back here.
Yeah, right here, I can't even see my arm.
You know, I got like a headache right here. And like I said, I'm kind of charged. There's something here on this tank right here in this area. Like just how I feel.
This tank specifically?
Yeah. Where does this go? I can't see here. Oh. What is this? Okay, so that goes way up to the top. Jesus, that is a huge tank. Oh, that's the entry right there. Where she said, right, George, over in that area?
Mm-hmm. You catch a big fish with one of these.
Look at all these tools and stuff that are here.
Here, I'm gonna film for a sec. Want to walk up these stairs and do it?
Yeah. Hey guys, we're here to visit anybody that's here. If you can let us know you're here somehow, make a distinct noise, any kind of a voice. If you're one of the miners that are interned next door, only maybe 50 to 100 feet from our entrance here.
You mean interred?
Interned?
Interred?
Really?
Interned?
On intern. Interred. Hey, I credit that to my sophomore in high school English teacher, Mrs. Morrison. Anyway, we'd love for you to come out and communicate with us. This place is huge.
Where are you in the building?
pigeon?
Okay, that's gotta be the pigeons.
That was loud movement. Yeah. George? Knock.
What is that? Yeah, it was a knock. What the heck? It's kind of picked up. That was another knock. Shuffle. Are you coming out? Oh, I'm feeling like again. Come and walk towards us.
George? Is that you?
Okay, if that's you, we're here just to communicate with you, or we're completely friendly. We want to tell your story. Are you back here? Can you again make a noise if you're one of the miners that is trapped?